This episode of the RMR Training Podcast is brought to you by Roxop. Roxop is the #1 analytics tool for your HYROX racing and training. I've used it the past year, and it has, without a doubt, made me a better, smarter athlete. Getting to see everything in one spot and not having to make guesses about where you are strong and where you are weak, what you need to work on, it makes a world of difference. It's helped me understand what I need to do in training and how to approach race day. You can get your free custom report with the link down in the show notes. Thank you to Roxop. All right. Hello. Welcome to the RMR Training Podcast. My name is Rich Ryan. Full squad today.
Let's go.
We are all stateside. We're all hanging out. And today we're gonna catch up. We all had our season opener in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about just what we do with that kind of information and how to move forward. And we're just going to kind of catch up because it's been some time. Kent, what's up, dude? What's up with this name? You out here hunting, or are you talking trash?
I don't know.
Can't tell.
Was there a football game last night?
Oh my God, they stink, dude. They're just not good. But whatever.
I don't really know how to explain it, to be honest. They
Their
look like a completely different football team right now.
The defense is bad right now, straight up bad. And yeah, whatever. It says open gives you some hope that maybe the Commanders
might win the
take
division.
Take the division, because the Birds are looking pretty bad. But whatever. So Kent's happy. Meg, what's up with you? You're over in Central New York. Have the leaves changed?
They are starting to. I ran in 34 degrees this morning on the track.
Whoa, it's cold like that?
Damn.
Yep. The mornings are brisk. I was not a happy lady. Let's put it that way. I went from 34 Celsius to 34 degrees in 1 week. And I was like, my data was great. Heart rate was low. That was nice change. I was like, damn, I'm not even working that hard. But I was freezing. And I was like, this shit's for not me. It's not for me anymore. Not into it.
I like to feel that kind of crispness every now and then. I mean, we get it here, right? But the sun comes out. But when it's real hot and you get it shift into it, you're like, oh, this is nice. But for 2 days, 1 day, I'm not trying to be out there for a full week.
It took me more than half of the session to just feel warmed up. I was like, these legs are not moving the way that I want them to be. I was hitting the times, but I was like, I do not feel ready. You know what I mean? I was just cold. Mm-hmm. So that was a new, whereas I'm feeling I'm looking at my heart rate in the warm up. I'm like, oh boy, we're going to be getting high today, So this was a totally opposite situation, which was kind of interesting, but yeah.
Here we are. But when the leaves change in New York, it is nice.
This is definitely one of the most beautiful times of year.
For sure.
Up here.
All right. So let's talk about some of the recent goings on. We're all back. I was saying before, I'm jet lagged. I'm hurting pretty bad. I can do 1 or 2 nights of not good sleep, but after 3 or 4, it's stringing together, I kind of start to feel wonky. I just haven't been able to get back on schedule. So that's where I'm at. Meg, you're a pro at this.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to Rich, but with the child coming, he better get used to this.
I know, but now it's I don't want it to be now.
No,
yeah, that's fair. He's I got a few more weeks. I got to get it together.
Yeah, I just want to do whatever I can to not have this happen early and then come into it. But we will persevere. We will persevere for sure. Kent, you were up in Boston, man. We haven't really talked too much since then because we both had the overlapping. I heard that venue was awesome. Yeah. How was it?
Oh, dude, it's up there in terms of one of the better venues that I've been to. I think from a layout perspective, from a spectator perspective, from an air conditioned perspective. I mean, it was cool in there. Yeah, it was a great venue. I loved it.
Good vibes because that was the North American season opener, right?
Yep.
That was everybody's first race.
Yep.
So how did
I didn't-
anything feel different from last year?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't at the venue all that long. I showed up maybe 90 minutes before
And it was
my
Sunday.
race. It was Sunday. So, the majority of the races had already happened. But I got in there like 90 minutes before and then, hung out actually much longer than I anticipated after the race, just talking to so many people about anything and everything, like the race, the upcoming season, the Ryland situation. I mean, it just, everyone kind of hung around the venue after the race, even though it was late, and just bonded and hung out and talked and had some really good conversations, which was, I think much needed for many people. So it was a good time. And as far as like my race goes, it felt good to feel good again. It's been a while since I've felt good in a race, and I got to be honest, I didn't take many risks in that race at all. Like that was very much the floor in terms of like performance. Like I could probably go out and perform that race over and over again every single weekend. Pretty much, hey, let's chill on the runs. Let's get our heart rate under control and go into each station feeling strong, feeling confident. And that was really, really the goal, was try to be somewhat aggressive on the stations. And then when you get back on the run as fast as you can, but also try to recover and come into the next zone feeling like you're ready to attack that one as well. So my runs weren't that great because I was being pretty cautious, but it allowed me to feel good for pretty much the majority of the race, and wasn't too particularly happy with my wall balls. I gave up 45 seconds to a minute on that station alone, but I think first time back in like a race situation like that in a while, my body was a little bit just unconditioned, I guess, going into 100 wall balls at the end. It was like, oh wow, like these suck. I forgot how bad these suck, because it had been a while since I'd made it that far in a race in quite some time. But I do want to say that when I finished, and I said this in our group chat that we have, when I finished the burpee broad jumps, which was one of my top burpee broad jump times.
Really fast. How was that set up? Was it like just a
it was
down
just
back?
down 40 meters down, 40 meters back.
Yeah, like 2-0 something's really fast.
But I've had some 2-0s in the past.
We would do it back in the day when they were just like, there's a Wild West out there.
Yeah.
We were probably diving a little bit.
Right. True.
Stagger forward a little bit.
True.
But they crack down now, especially when you're in those.
Especially on you.
No matter what, no matter which direction, they're going to be like, hey, something's a little bit wrong with what you're doing. I'm just like, whatever.
But I knew that was the station where I had many DNFs, not many, but like three DNFs in the past, where that station has just been, there's been a mental block for me. So to come into the, the burpee broad jumps and really attack those and not be on the defense and being worried about dropping out. Like when I got through that, I felt like the weight of the world like fell off my shoulders, and I was able to just relax and go through the rest of the race. And I remember kind of taking a deep breath coming out of the rock zone, and I was like, okay, I'm out of breath, but we did that, and I'm going to be okay. We're going to get through this race today. And it was a good moment for me, because I was able to just move on from the past in some ways and kind of start the process going forward. And like I said, I knew going into that race, I was probably in 56 shape. And I think had I executed that race to my abilities, I probably would have been sub 57. So now the goal in Atlanta is to just be slightly more aggressive than I was in Boston. And then when I go to Chicago, be slightly more aggressive than I was in Atlanta. So now just kind of find that fine line again, because it's been a while since I've had to ride that red line for the entire race. So I'm trying to find my limits with that again, and it's actually been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun to honestly feel like I'm having my second go around at all this. Because I'm coming at it now with a whole new perspective with racing than I've had in the past, and it's been a fun challenge to, I guess I should just say, like, try to claw and climb my way back to where I feel like I truthfully belong. And there's been many times where I easily could have thrown in the towel and like given up and been like, you know what, I'm just going to be a full-time coach. Like, I don't need this anymore. I've literally done everything. I've won a North American championship. The only thing I haven't done is won a world championship. Like I've finished second at Worlds. That's really the only thing I haven't done. Everything else I've done. I mean, I haven't had like a world record, but like in terms of like my own goals and accomplishments, I've done everything I wanted to do, and I easily could have just walked away and been like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I'm happy. But that's not how your boy rolls. That's not how your boy rolls, and that's not how we're going to go out. I still believe there's so much more left in the tank, and it was fun for me to watch the Elite 15 race in Hamburg and kind of see where the sport is right now in the year to 2 years that I've kind of been out of it. And I'm like, man, like the sport is rocking right now. And there are some great athletes, athletes that have been at the top for some time, but also like a new crop of athletes that are trying to make their way into, the record books. And I can't wait. I can't wait to be back on that same stage again. And I hope that it's this season, but the way this whole thing is playing out, I think my best bet is just going to be able to show up to that last chance qualifier in DC, punch my ticket there. Because ultimately I think I'm just going to run out of chances to get to two really fast times. And I don't want to throw shade at these Elite 15 races, but I think they're a little bit faster than this typical races that are held in like the cities. And it's going to be really hard for athletes to break into that Elite 15. So it might take another year for that whole thing to just like level itself back out in some ways. Or if they just change the standard that like, hey, the Elite 15 races don't count as one of your qualifying times. I think that would be the appropriate move. But regardless, it's been fun for me to watch. And yeah, I'm just excited to, continue to work my way back into that group.
Yeah, with the courses, like they're definitely optimized, right? Especially this new one. I mean, it's more laps, right? Which isn't going to necessarily be faster with more turns. But when there's no one else on the course, you're not navigating anybody else. And then you're just like with a whole group of people all going really fast.
Well, it's obviously pretty optimal if the men's pro world record just got broken there.
For sure.
Like it's been almost a 2-year standing record. So like that's like the longest we've ever had a world record be held. Yeah. So the fact that happened on this course is, and it's the first time we're seeing this new course. I definitely agree, Ken. It's like, this is definitely faster for reasons than the regular courses will be. Mm-hmm. So,
and right, like I don't think you're ever going to see a world record at like some random event.
Well, yeah. Definitely not, because I'll just quiet myself now. Never mind.
They're probably going to give the Elite 15 fresh turf, fresh sleds every single time as well, which is going to make it more predictable. And I think the courses are just like, as that turf gets older, it is definitely going to get harder. So yeah, I think that you're right. Like there is going to need to be something that is addressed with that at some point, and maybe they throw some of these times out, where they just like change the qualifying system, or they just like change the way that it is. But yeah, it's like the rich get richer for
totally
people who already have the times. Yeah. It's like, okay, they're just like given another one that is pretty much the same. So yeah, I agree. I think they're making it way harder. And now there's not like a true last chance qualifier. I think it's going to be hard for most people, right? But I had some other thoughts on things you were saying. Oh yeah, we'll start with that. Yeah, then like this, there's like 2 generations of athletes now. They're starting to separate, right? It's like we're the old guard, and there's new people coming in, and then that's going to be a whole generation of athlete, and then eventually we'll be out. Meg, are you in our generation, or are you still?
I'm in your gen.
You're in. Nice.
I started when sleds were hard. Okay, and took 4 fucking minutes. And age-wise, I'm like, damn, I went from being like the norm to like I'm in the 30 plus crew is the old. We're the old bitches now.
Because no one's really aged out, right? There hasn't been like is Hunter still around? Lauren, who was OG, she's still even
Linda,
like Linda, Viola. Like there's still like there's not been an aging out of athlete, but there is now athletes
an emerging young group. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
For both genders.
Yes, agreed. And I think like I know there was some podcast talk about this. I think that there are at least on the women, well, honestly, probably on the men's side too. I think there are a few old guard people who can like consistently always stay in. I think Alex is a great example of that. Like, look at what he just did. Look at what he's done the last 4 years. He was Mr. Podium. Like, I doubt that he will be someone who could get phased out in the next couple.
He's still young.
He's not old. He's not that old, but the talent level he has is so high. Like when he's on, he's on. You know what I mean? And I think there's a few women I would like to think of myself being one of them, but like Lauren, she's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And I think there's like a middle to end back group that's like definitely in danger of getting replaced. And I think on the women's side, it's less obvious, like it's less just because the depth isn't quite as crazy as it is on the men's side yet. But it's getting deeper, which is great, but we're just not at the same rate yet. And we've only still had, I think, five women, I could be wrong, that have gone sub 60. So like, we're not even halfway in the field who have gone sub 60 on the female side yet. So I think there's still some time for some of us old people in the women's field to hang in there. But yeah, it'll definitely be an interesting next 1, 2, 3 years. What I will say is my observations of some of the young people, and this is where I think the older crew has so much more experience handling the pressure of these races. I had a lot of chats with new people and I was giving a lot of pep talks. Let's put it that way. And so I think that it's great that you train and you can perform. That's amazing. And there is so much potential. However, on race day, that doesn't matter. This is all that matters. We're all so close together from a talent perspective and like from an ability perspective, but if you don't have the brain to handle it on race day, to handle the pressure, to do all the media stuff, to handle all the people, and you're getting you're super anxious about that, it's going to negatively impact your performance. And I saw that from several of the young girls. I think in time and experience that will come, but it's a huge advantage to the women who've been doing it for the last few years. A major to me is nothing like a world championship. So I wouldn't have been as nervous, I think, as some of the girls. It's like their first time in a major and they're freaking out. And so it definitely gives a big edge to the people who have some years of experience handling all of this, because it's not just the race. It's all the other shit we have to do behind the scenes that people also don't see. The sponsor requirements, the media days, the interviews, all of that stuff adds up. And if you don't handle it well, or you're just really new to it, it can be overwhelming. So just some observations as a spectator of this major that I had. And I was feeling like confident in myself because I think I handle a lot of that stress really, really well. But it's going to take some time for some of the young bucks, I think, to really to get used to that.
I want to say something on that. What's the commentator's name that is alongside Greg? What's his name?
Till Shank.
Till. So he has said some controversial things on the live stream, and one of the things he said that I took offense to was him. He said that this is the year. Maybe don't quote me, but something like this is the year where, like, all the people who have been in the front of the pack are no longer going to be there. Like, new guys are going to start taking over. And I felt like it was such a disrespectful comment to say, and kind of just like a slap in the face to all the guys who have been at the top of this sport and helped shaped it into what it is today. And I promise you right now, like Meg, you just said, guys, and I'm gonna speak to the guys field. You know, you can speak to the women's field, but guys like Alex, Tim,
Dylan,
Hunter. These guys are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless they choose to go somewhere. Or if eventually age catches up to them, and
or just other life things. Like that's the other side. Like Rich is a great example. He's having a baby. Like we're older, and so we have more. We all have likely way more life responsibilities already. Lauren's a mom. I'm a mom. You guys are both parents or becoming parents. We have other stuff, and so really, I think when that time comes, for a lot of these people, it's going to be a personal choice, not necessarily
they can't do it
getting out of. Yes, correct. And it's a weird comment when you think about it, because 2 of the 3 podium and people who got their spots for Worlds at this race are OGs on both sides. So we had Dylan and Alex head-to-head battle. Hit is newer, has a huge endurance background though, so I was not surprised to see him come in and do well. But then on the women's side, it was Vivian and Lauren, both who have also placed at Worlds in 2024, also on the podium. So like they've been around. So it's like Joanna was the only new one, and like she came in second at Worlds in her first season. So
I don't even look at her as new, like
not
anymore.
I don't either.
She's young. She's so young. She's super young. I don't know if this is the defense of Till or not, but like I think he just kind of says stuff sometimes. I don't even think he knows.
It's to stir.
I don't even think he even to do that. I think he was just like talking. He probably doesn't believe what he was saying. He was just like, "Oh, there's young people, and young people potentially could take the place of older people." Like I honestly don't think. I bet if you had him write down as like who will finish top 5, he'll just like list all the people you just mentioned and be like, "What about that thing you said?" He'd be like, "What thing?" I just don't even think he like is like paying attention that much. Honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are, like I don't think this is not the season where
that shift
the generations are over, and it's like we're gonna have to start blocking them by age, right? Where it is like, yes, Dylan and Tim, they're OG, they're like as OG as it gets, but they're like 20, like 30 and like 26 or 27 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't quite count, and they'll be around for a while. But yeah, I don't think it's quite at that point yet where it's, and I've been thinking about what this will feel like, because it will happen, is like when we right now are competing at the best that we have, and that's not enough.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because that is going to happen at some point, right?
I can assure you, I will personally retire before that happens to me. I know when I can tell you, I will make the decision before it happens for me. I do not want to go out like that. That's just because I just don't. I don't have any interest.
Don't want to go down fighting, go down swinging. I would
rather leave on top. I would way rather leave on top than like have people feel sorry for me. That's just me, though. But I'm also a person who will retire by my own personal decision because of my life. Like I have already I know when I'm done, like already right now. So like I've made these choices for myself already. So for me, it's like I have an expiration.
A time?
Yeah, I firmly have an expiration date.
Oh, okay.
No, I have an end date in my head already. Which because of life things that I don't want to miss out on. Like that's
What is that
everyone's
date? Is it
different.
age in 15 years?
I'm not
It's in
sharing
15,
that.
it's in 15 years.
I
He's like,
understand
I'm out of
business.
here. I'm out of here when I'm 55. You
Yeah,
For for business purposes, I will not be
For sure.
sharing
I know.
the
exactly.
end of my time here. But for me, it's like it's more I don't want to miss opportunities in life that I wouldn't have or be able to have while trying to compete. Also, my daughter's older and she's older than your kids. So like she's 10 already. Pretty soon she's going to be a teenager, and you start getting less and less and less time with them as they get older and they're doing their own thing, and I don't want to miss out on her stuff and her life. So like I've already been saying no to a ton of opportunities that have come up because I'm like, nope, I'm home with my daughter that week. It's not even a negotiation or a changing the timing or me changing my plans. Like it's 100% no. So but this is also, I think my perspective has really changed having sat out last year a lot. And I think it's been a great learning for me. And this is also why I say I think there's an experience level that comes with the older generation who've been doing it for a few years, because I'm also not chasing it hard, crazy hard. Like I had so many people asking me why I wasn't racing solo in Hamburg. And I'm so confident in myself. I don't feel like I need to chase it. And I've got girls that just raced in that race and they're already racing Stuttgart because they're like freaking out that they might get bumped out
Yeah, you
for
kind of have to.
Melbourne and this and that. And I have no panic about that. I'm like, nope, my spots are in 2026. I'm good.
It's
I
kind
have
of
a
nice,
plan.
right?
Yeah, but it also comes from these years of experience where I think when you see the people that have consistently had to fight hard to try to get in these majors, and they're racing week and then 2 weeks and then 3 weeks and they're not
Yeah.
getting it. You also see that and it's like don't believe I'll be in that position. I believe in my training and I believe in myself. But it never with the more and the harder I think sometimes you try to fight for it, the further it can get away from you, because you're also not giving yourself time to actually make progress in training. If you're racing every 2-3 weeks, it's impossible to really be moving the needle at all in
Right.
performance. So you're just getting you're hoping the course is fast, you're hoping something happens that likely, like, you can't bank on. You know what I mean? You can bank on your training. And that's like where my mindset is coming in as somebody who's been doing it for a few years. So like even between my first race that I'm trying to get my time in and my second, I'm giving myself 6 weeks. I don't need 6 weeks. I believe I'm fit enough right now to do it, but I would rather have the buffer and have the time to train in case there is something that happens or whatever. And that comes with that experience level. And I think I'm already seeing a lot of new girls. They've raced some of them 3-4 times already, and it's the beginning of October. That's going to make for a very long season. A very long season.
We got to learn. And we've all been to that spot where we haven't had experience. We didn't start like this.
Right.
Right. It takes time to kind of build yourself there. And yeah, one thing you were talking about, like, I feel like, and maybe I've been here before, probably, where it's like, I'm always feeling like where I was feeling like that I was like one race away from a breakthrough.
Yeah.
But like, and it's just probably what these younger athletes are thinking. It's like, hey, one more shot, maybe I'll have it. One more shot, maybe I'll get there. And sometimes we do see athletes break through, whether it is like, but usually it's after we haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, you're not going to, like, where the breakthroughs do happen is where the long-term sustained training, working on what your weakness is, making sure that you are recovering. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be really hard to get exponentially better on your 6th race in 10 weeks.
Exactly.
Right. Like those
you're kind of just, you're just kind of like throwing it up to God and like hoping at that point. And like,
you're just hoping. Yeah.
You're just hoping. And I don't believe that's like a sustainable way to do this the long term.
Hope is not a good training. A good training method.
It's not a good metric.
Yeah.
So
it's also one of these things too, where like sometimes the harder you keep trying for something and like wanting something to happen, the further away it seems to get.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're trying to grip it. You're trying to grip it too tight, and it's just slipping right out of your hands. Like you can't force these things.
Exactly. I think when you give yourself more time to develop, and you kind of just let it come to you, that's when it happens. And I can tell you that, like, even in my first season as a pure beginner, I raced January, and then the next time I raced individual was May, and that's when I went sub 60 and cut off 2 minutes or more from my personal best time, because I had over 3-4 months of just pure training and just adaptations and nothing being interrupted with like traveling here, recovering, tapering, post race recovery, because that's also what gets you. It's not just the races. We don't gain adaptations from racing. We don't gain performance from racing. We're not getting better we might get better at the skill of racing, sure, through racing, but we're not getting better from a performance view. We're not gaining a ton of adaptations from racing, but we are losing a lot of time every time we race, because we got to taper in. If we really want to hit an A race and we really have to have a time, then we got to taper our way in. Then we need 3-4 days recovery. How is our travel? It's like 2 weeks almost at the end of the day of interruption. And so I think when I've seen that, and also now kind of been on the outside looking in, it's given me a ton of perspective for how I want to approach these next few years of me doing this. I don't feel like I have to be everywhere. That's an awesome experience and feeling to have. I felt zero sadness or negative feelings from missing Hamburg. I feel zero. I'm actually thrilled to not be going to Melbourne. I have zero interest in doing that travel and interrupting my process. Like 0%. So I think having those experiences, I think, has given me a better perspective as an athlete and will yield me better results throughout my time in HYROX overall. Choosing your spots, being more wise about it, knowing when it's time and you feel like I'm going to hit a home run and I feel it because you gave yourself the time. I think that's way more important.
For sure. And like the thing that it sounds to me is what it sounds like is like the trust that you have in yourself, right? Where young athletes, it's having faith in the process that they have not experienced yet.
Yes. So true.
So it is like chasing and hoping and like trying. It's like, maybe if I just try harder this time, or like, maybe I do get a good course, maybe less people show up. It sucks. It's a hard place to be. It's hard to be chasing.
Definitely. I don't envy that spot at all. But I hope that they listen to this and they hear what we say.
For a while, it's always been like pretty freaking stressful trying to get into these races, and like trying to like all right, I hope this is a good one. It's like I hope I don't get screwed here or there or whatever. Yeah, it's very stressful to be like chasing something because you don't have because it's hard to plan. It's hard to actually plan. And that's where, again, when we say it over and over, it's like, that's where the progress happens, is being able to plan things out and to actually work on stuff, as opposed to just like trying real hard to make every race your best race, which is just like impossible.
And peaking if we can peak twice a year, we're lucky.
Let alone
like 6 times, it's just, it just doesn't work that way. So yeah.
Kent, I'm interested. I'll go back into your race a little bit, because you had mentioned that a little bit, like, oh yeah, not quite sure, like if you're going to keep this thing rolling or whatever. Having thoughts of that were definitely new, right? Like that, like, oh, like considering what the future is going to be like. How did that kind of change the way that you came into this race? Like, were you thinking in terms of like your internal dialogue or motivation type of things? Like, did you feel like getting through this one and you were kind of back into that mode where of like confidence and just like being competitive, or was there something different in this first race of the season that you kind of felt?
It's a good question. I will say, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this, but like every time, at least, majority of my career, every time I line up to the start line, I gotta win. Like I gotta win. It's win or bust. Like that's it. Like I don't care if I get a PR and get second place and I lose. Like that's not going to cut it. It's always been win at all costs. And I think the biggest difference for me right now and going through this very humbling 2 years of my career has helped me deal with this a little bit more or a little bit better. And it's that I'm okay. I'm okay if I don't win the race. Like it's okay. Like everything's going to be fine. And I haven't always had that perspective or that mindset. And, through some life circumstances, I just have this new perspective on racing and why I do it. And, I think the mindset that I've had in the past definitely led me to good performances, but I don't think it was necessarily healthy for anything outside of racing or training. And now I've had to honestly like repave a different mental path, if you will, that allows me to be just like a little less intense, a little less serious about what I'm doing, because let's be real, at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal.
We're running I posted this in my story. We're running shirtless in a building with other adults.
It's all
That's
fake.
what we do.
It's super made up.
And I get paid to do that. Like I'm not saving lives. I'm not, coming up with the next breakthrough for cancer research. Like it is not that serious.
And it's also this time away from the Elite 15, from the individual side, has honestly allowed me to look at my career from like almost like a 30,000 foot view, and just being like, just taking a minute to just be proud of what I've already accomplished and not feeling like I need to go be that guy again, like every time I line up to the start line. And, especially with what happened, with Rylan, I just like don't want to take any of these opportunities for granted anymore, because we don't know when our last day or our last moment, our last minute, our last second, like we don't know when that time is going to be. And, I know somebody like Rylan would literally give anything to be back here doing what we're doing. That was one of his many passions and something he was very, very good at and probably would have kept doing for a long, long time. And it's like, all right, he can't do that anymore. Why? Like, I don't know. Like, it's hard to put into words, but I feel like I sort of feel like I need to live for him in some ways. I need to try to do all the things that he wishes he could still do if he were still here, and, have a little more appreciation for, what you're able to do. Because I think a lot of time I would take it for granted. And now I'm just like, you know what? Life's too short. What we're doing is not that serious. And, like if this is going to be your career, like you need to have a little bit of fun and enjoyment in it.
What?
And that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at now. And, I don't necessarily, I'm enjoying racing myself right now. Like, and trying to conquer myself out there on course. Like, I'm not even focused on the other athletes really in the race. Like I had, Colin Stiefer in there with me in Boston, and I pulled away on the sled pull didn't see him again until the finish line when he passed me on wall balls. But I didn't even like he was there, but I didn't even really notice him. Like I knew going into the race, my biggest obstacle was going to be myself. And that was the only thing I was focused on in Boston. And, you know, maybe at some point when I feel like I've conquered all of my demons, I can get back to racing other people out there on course. But right now, it's just about me out there.
I feel this so hard because I feel the same way. And I've been posting a lot about like, I'm not doing this for anyone or anything, not a single dollar, not a single sponsor. I am doing this 110% for myself, period. I had a lot of girls be like, oh, I'll see you in Stuker. We can race together. And I'm like, you might be in the race with me. That's fine. But I am not racing you. I am racing myself. Like, I just have a very different view of it because I did have almost a career-ending catastrophic situation, right? So for me, like, I'm just so grateful that I am back in the full swing of training with no interruptions. I'm 100% healthy. Finally, I'm almost a year to my surgery date, and it has taken 10 months to get fully healthy, to feel like I'm really over that hump. So like for me, I feel the same way. It's like, it's only about me, the enjoyment that I get from racing, and like whatever happens. And I fully accept that. You know, like, of course I want to be at Worlds. I would love to podium. I believe I can, like, especially if my training can continue this way. But I think I'll be really happy just being there, and like, no matter where it all ends up, you know? And I think that's a way healthier mindset to have than being like, oh my God, I was the world champion in 2024. I have to defend the title. I have to do it again. Like, I have had those thoughts in the past and wanted those things for myself in the past. And now it's like, it's way more freeing to get to race just because you love to. It's way healthier. And there's way less pressure. And I think that also plays into like my favor and into
Better
your
results
favor as well.
Better results. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, because I feel like we've all kind of been in this spot where it's like winning was the reason we were doing it.
Yeah.
And like, it can be really, really strong fuel, and we can get really, really good performances out of that fuel. But when it's gone, it's like, then what are we actually doing? Right. Like,
Yeah.
I experienced this in college, right? Like, I was just like, I ran in high school probably because I was good at it, and I was just like winning races. And that was why I did it. And then I stopped winning races. And then I was like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
And then like the performances got not a little bit worse, way worse.
Yeah.
You know, because the fuel is just completely gone when it's like not a possibility. Right. But that doesn't mean, but then because of this fuel that we had that did propel us to such strong performances and winning and just like notoriety. And it's like, so it feels so good. Other people think you're great, but it doesn't mean you can't perform well on a different fuel source. Like the physically nothing changes.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like literally nothing changes. It's just like, it can be hard to let go of, because like I was awesome and I won mad races because of this. So it's like, if I let go of that part of myself, am I going to win races anymore? But then I feel like when you get there, it's like, it doesn't really matter. You know?
Yeah.
I want to say this real quick. I had my goal in Boston was to execute the race the way that I did execute it, right? It was like, let's be aggressive on the stations. Let's run as fast as we can, but still recover, and be happy with the outcome, no matter what it is. And I got to be honest, when at the time Cole Learn was in a heat behind me. So I knew we were going to beat Isaac Sanderson and Jack Driscoll's time just based off my watch and like looking where we're at. I'm like, okay, like I might win this race today, right? And like I said, I didn't know Cole was coming in guns a-blazing in the heat after me, but
right.
I'm like, all right, I got like a minute lead on Colin going into wall balls. Let's just methodically get through these, and we're gonna go sub 58 today, and it's gonna be a good day. And ended up going 58:30 and got a no rep on rep 100. It didn't go tall enough.
That's the worst.
As I took off to go to the stage, listen, I took off knowing it was a bad rep, hoping that the judge would say, "You're good."
The machine judge.
And she turns or I turn around knowing that it wasn't good. And she's like, "Yeah, come on back." And when I did that, Colin finished his 100th rep and then went right on by. And I had a moment right when I crossed the finish line of just extreme frustration and disappointment in myself to come in thinking, all right, like 57 today it's happening and I'm gonna win this race. And I blew it from a time perspective and I blew it from a place perspective. And I had a moment where I was just like, all right, what are we going to do here? How are we going to handle this from a mental standpoint? And honestly, within like 20 seconds of thinking about this, I was like, dude, I'm good. Like, I'm over it. Like I have so much to be thankful for already. Mm-hmm. Like it's okay. Like it's going to be fine. And I chose to be happy about my performance and satisfied with my performance rather than just like the frustration and anger that can sort of just drown you after something like that. And it was honestly as simple as just making a choice in the moment to be happy
it's just a
about
switch.
it. Yeah.
Rich, I saw your post too where you've decided you're happy now.
Yeah.
Like a week later.
Yep. I was like, you know what? This is fine.
Yeah.
We could be happy about this.
So and this is when, as a coach, I always, whenever my clients text me like the day of the race, I'm like, I love this recap, but I want to hear from you 5 days from now. Because of exactly kind of how you once the things settle and you're back in your environment and you're out of like that world, I think perspective completely changes. So you're feeling good about your effort, which is great because I felt really good about your effort. Like I was like, he had a great race. Like we were, both Benny and I were really proud of you. And there's not much I would have like changed looking at what being there on the sideline watching your performance. Like there's not much I could give you to adjust. Obviously we had some chats, but like how do you feel? Like, do you want to explain kind of like where you started and like where you got to in a few days?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So like with this whole process of kind of a change in mindset that we've all kind of gone through, we've evolved as athletes to look at it from a perspective of like effort and like doing it for ourselves. This race in particular, I had chosen to not just be process oriented, because you're right, Meg and Ryan. Like if it was just like a regular race, I'd be like, yeah, I think I did everything I could. I raced hard. I was in it, like came out and like, whatever, like I ran good time. Like we're all good. But this was the only time where I was like, I really wish I could have hit that qualifier. Right.
Yeah.
I really wish I could have just like not had to worry about gearing back up for a race. And it's some time. I have some time, but life's going to be different with the baby. Mm-hmm. Right. So that was the one thing I was just like, man, my life could have just been so much easier. And that type of disappointment for the outcome based side of it was what was like weighing on me. It's like, man, I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but it wasn't because of lack of trying. Right. Yeah. And as I look back and like reflect on it, it's like, I had a great training block. I feel like I'm like this was the most complete race I think I've ever run. I was kind of thinking about that as well. I was like, is this I was like, that might be the best race I've ever run. You know, maybe not the best outcome, but it might top to bottom. I could very well make an argument that is the best HYROX effort I've ever put out. And so from that perspective, it's like, what's there to be upset about?
Yeah.
Right. But it was because I was dwelling on the outcome, because I came into it with an outcome goal, which is what we were just talking about, which is dangerous, right? Which is just like, it doesn't, like, I can't really control that. Like Alex ran 53, 12 or something like that. Dylan ran 53:30. It's like, I can't control what those dudes run.
Right.
So yeah, so that was kind of that, like looking back and being like, man, like I really kind of showed up as an athlete that belongs there. I feel like if they're like, I don't want to sound like arrogant about this, but I feel like I am in the top 15 right now. Like it'd be hard for me to understand how I wouldn't qualify other than just like this baby's coming and it could be
just like life.
It could just be like really different. And I don't know how it's going to change.
Yeah.
Right. So from that, and then I'm just like excited to train again too. You know, and that's another thing too. It's like, hey, we still have the training, we still have the process, and
Yep.
being able to reflect on that and be excited about training and going, I think it also helped kind of take me from that spot of like disappointment to be like, oh, nothing's really changed.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's really changed. So yeah. So
that day is coming whether you get on the podium or not, you know?
Right.
Like the stress or whatever, it's coming. And regardless, one way or the other, you'll have to figure out your new way forward as an athlete after that.
You're right. Where I'm like looking at it kind of nearsighted, be like, I just want to qualify for this race. But even if like it happened, I would still need to navigate training and life.
Yeah.
Right.
Get to
the other life factors don't change, even if you checked that box off.
Right. So yeah, no, I'm excited about the prospect of training and, you know, just kind of like juggling this new challenge. So, you know, it's going to go.
Someone asked me where I thought, actually it was a small group. They asked me where you were going to finish in the race.
What'd you say?
I was like, well, Rich, honestly, I think he has the potential to like win the race.
Nice.
Like, for sure. Like he's got the potential. But he's probably going to finish between 5th and 7th. And you finished 6th.
Which was
right.
You
finished 6th. And I was like, I fucking told you guys.
Like if that sports book did have odds for this, Legend Sportsbook, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
That they're doing odds on the races. I don't think they did. Did they do it for the Elite 15? They did it for Boston.
I don't know.
They did it for Boston.
But yeah, you would have been on the money, baby. You would have been cashing in. But I think that's probably an appropriate place to like seed me based off of everything. So yeah, but onward we go.
You smashed it, dude. Good job.
Appreciate it.
I was proud. Yep. I was super proud.
Really fun to have you in my corner too. The coaching zone. What was your experience in the coaching zone broadly? Not necessarily like
too far away. I want to be on the fence. I want to be on the fence of the grid. They have us like a little bit back. They don't want us.
It was kind of hard. I could hear you.
I was screaming my face off.
Was it full of coaches?
There was like 6, maybe 7.
There wasn't that many? Oh, I didn't even think there was that many. Because you were still like isolated in this spot. So I could hear you when I would run past kind of like where the start line was, and you would be affirming like, hey, you're in a great spot. You're doing great, doing this and that. I couldn't really hear you when I was on the grid. I don't think. I looked toward you a couple times, but who I could hear was Benny, because Benny was outside the grid. Well, he would run up against the back lane.
Yes.
And he was like right in my ear. And so I could like get like real direct information from him. And like unmistakably, like there's Benny, here's what I'm saying. Right. Like, it was right there. So yeah, I think it could be a little bit closer.
Yeah. I love the concept of it. And I think it's definitely like getting more professional that we're able to kind of have that, because I think as we are seeing the sport develop, like people are kind of establishing teams and like coaching squads, and like some people have like 3 coaches. Like I'm like, how do you have so many coaches, you know? So I think that's a cool addition to everything. But yeah, I would like it to be a little bit closer to the grid. So like you could hear me on the burpees, like as an example, when you had like some people chirping at you, that's when I would have loved to be able for you to hear me, because I think that those are those little moments where like, as a coach, if you can help, that's where those negative thoughts start to come in, right? Like maybe you get a penalty, or maybe you have like a judge on you for something. And that's when those negative thoughts can really like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking it up. Oh my God. Oh no. Right. And so if you have someone there you can hear to kind of help you flip that switch back. Like, no, you're good. You're fine. You know, like just get that little reassurance. I think that would be nice. So I would love for them to kind of make it a little closer.
Yeah. And that was
to
one
the
thing
action.
you asked me before the race, like, hey, what do you want? What do you need from me here? And I was just kind of like, yeah, just like affirming, like helping me like keep my position, like keep my mental space right. But in retrospect, like Annie in the moment, I honestly probably would have preferred a little bit more tactical stuff. Because like I looked at you during the sled push because I was like, I think this is going well. It's like, should I keep pushing it this way? And if you could have been there, be like, hey, you're fine just like this, or you're like, no, push now, to get a little bit of like your expertise in terms of like race, like on like goings on, I guess. Be like, hey, you're in a position now where you can kind of move. Like I didn't know I was gonna want that, and I think you were too far to actually even really give me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
you made a lot of spots up on the sled, so I was like, keep fucking going. You know, like you just passed 4 people. Like that, those things would be super ideal for you to hear, because I have the whole view, and it's like you're not seeing the people like 5 lanes over from you like easily. But yeah, it's a good new thing that they've been implementing. So that's cool.
Let's talk about the penalties real quick.
Okay.
First, what do we think about the penalty box scenario, like the end of the race penalty curving?
So I keep seeing, obviously, the comments about this. It can't be anywhere else in the race.
Agreed on that.
You can't tell someone to stop. Do you know how much help that would be if I got a penalty for 15 seconds on burpees and I had to stand there for 15 seconds, let my heart rate come down, and then run? Like, I'm going to catch people doing that, probably.
Well, you could just do that if it was actually
or you could do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Same with like people were arguing with the lap penalty being too harsh. If it's less harsh, people might do that on purpose.
They were like, oh, it's a 3-minute penalty, but it was really like a 90-second penalty because she missed a lap.
Right. So like the penalties have to be harsh so that people don't try to use that tactically to move around or get recovery or whatever the case may be. So the penalties also for that reason have to be served at the end. Was it heartbreaking? No. 3 minutes and then we're going to do 100 wall balls unbroken.
So what?
You still did it.
I think you did it like.
I still think you have to finish.
You would have.
But there were still people like in the women's race coming that wasn't done. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't like the idea of breaks in the middle.
I don't either. I think they gotta finish.
But you could just take breaks.
You could, but like
nobody does because that doesn't make any sense. Because you would rather if you could take your heart rate down for 30 seconds and it would
like
be an advantage,
how
you could
you just don't know. You just don't, because we're not going to risk.
Right. Because
but like there's a chance. Like we don't know how much it would. You can't really quantify the difference that it can make. We don't know.
But no one.
There is a chance.
There is a chance. No way. I mean, we could try. Next time
I want the race. I want the race finished.
If you got a 30-second rest
you
after
think I'd run a minute faster?
jumps,
You think I'd make up that 30 seconds and run 30 seconds faster?
You think my time would be? I would say there's a chance.
There's a chance, but like if it was a thing, people would do it.
No,
try it.
I don't know. I think people just think it would look dumb, so they're like,
they're embarrassed to get the rest.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not fucking doing this.
I'm
doing it. I'll do that shit. Wait, Atlanta, Atlanta, I'm doing it.
You did that in Vienna a little bit. You were just like, I'm walking for a little bit.
Yeah,
we're good.
I like it from the perspective of the spectators. I think when we've had issues at the last second, like Worlds 2024, amazing prime example, women's race, chaos. People are getting ripped off a stage. At the end of the race, no one, and not even the athletes, really 100%, besides me, really 100% knew where they finished. Like the top 5 was like, I think I'm 4th. I think I'm 5th. That is that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? And then the community is like, what the fuck is going on? Has no idea what's happening. We, even on the inside, still were confused. So I think then the outside is 10 times more confusion. Then there's announcements of this, and this on socials. And now it's it's just chaotic. So I like that it's a visible thing, and then we firmly know when people cross exactly where they finish on at the moment, on the spot. The spectators can see it. It's obvious. So I really like it from that perspective. It's sad, like it's brutal to watch, but I do think it alleviates a lot of confusion. And so I like it. I like it, and I think it's a good move, honestly.
If you were to assess penalties during the race, I think it couldn't just be time based. I think
Added.
it would have to be rep based. So, like for example,
Well, that's what
if
it
you
was.
get if well, I was going to say if you get a red card on burpee broad jumps, that's 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Rather than saying 15 seconds, you got a red card. You now have to perform, like 5 extra burpee broad or like a 10-meter burpee broad jump penalty, and you cannot continue on with the race until you get through that additional 10 meters, without any other further penalties, and then you can continue on. So they're not getting that reprieve. They're not getting that rest. It's like, hey, you got 1 red card. That's an extra 10 meters at the end of this. Or you got 2 red cards. That's an extra 20 meters. And then they can move on.
But I think that's why they moved away from that, because that's what it was. And I think
not standardized. It's like
and then like the sled pull was kind of insane, right? Like that was crazy. Yeah, because they would walk you back. They would walk you back that rep and make you redo it.
You would get a meter penalty. That's why the grid has those lines, so they could walk you back like 10 meters or whatever, 5 meters to serve your penalty. But they would do it in real time. They wouldn't do it like after. And the sled pull made 0 sense, like a race killer. Like 90-second penalty.
I do remember that one.
For like this much of it. So I'm glad that that's changed.
Yeah. And then
know.
there were other penalties.
$dollars to figure this out.
But then there were also other penalties that were time-based in the old system. So then we have some that are timed, like the ski. If you leave the ski a little early, it was 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't click to 1,000 and you're off your platform, it was a 10-second penalty. Same with like if you didn't have your feet strapped in the rowers, it was like whatever that was, 20 or I don't know, 10 seconds. Yeah. So now it's one entire system that's all time and not some time and some physically having to
you don't
do
have to
something.
Add it after. No.
And that's why I prefer this, because this is all, it's pretty clear across the board. It's not like, do I stay or do I go or do I have to redo it? Like it's just cleaner, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Like when the race finishes, we want to know what the outcome was. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to be like, all right, now let's see how the penalties are assessed and then like wait a couple minutes and see how the times change. Yes. When people cross the line, we want to know where they finish. I would like to see it. Like, I don't think it's as big of a deal as like, is you two seem to think in terms of like it be, and if it wasn't, maybe that's the thing, right? Like if they were to make it serve in real time, just to make sure that it was an advantage, make the penalty longer, right? Make it like 25 seconds instead of 15 seconds. Make it so like that it is too long that you can, whatever you would make up, maybe they can figure that out somehow. But I like to know where the race is in terms of how it's unfolding during the race from a spectator standpoint too. Right? It's like, okay, Tim has a 15-second penalty. He's here. Like, what does that mean for him for the finish? You don't really know until it's over because he's just like standing there. It's like less exciting, I think, than people who are finishing the wall balls and then running across. Like that women's doubles, like it was exciting that they all finished at the exact same time, but it would have been more exciting if they were all doing wall balls in the 90s together, right? As opposed to like standing there waiting to then finish.
Yeah, I get what you're meaning.
So I would prefer it to like for us to know what's going on with the race during the race, as opposed to like the 15 seconds after they finish wall balls or whatever.
Why was it that the girls who missed the burpee broad jump lane got DQ'd, but then like Lena, who missed a lap, didn't get DQ'd? That to me makes no sense. It's the same thing. Like they skipped a part of the race, but only that team got DQ'd, and like Lena got to finish and have a time. And like they didn't even get a time.
Yeah, I guess that's just how the rules are written in terms of like the distinguishing between like the stations and the running.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because in the past, if you missed a lap, it was a disqualification. Like in the,
there was. You're right.
do you remember? Because I
Yeah,
remember when that was why when I was winning world, I was so fucking laser focused because I was like, oh my God, if I fuck a lap up, this is
It's like, come
done.
on.
So, like that was terrifying. I was like,
So-
there's no one ahead of me for me to follow. Like I have to get this right. So like that's a weird change. I don't understand that, I guess.
It's a good point.
I guess
maybe
maybe
just
it's
it happens more
because
often. It
and
could be a
with it being
mistake.
5 laps, like
Yeah.
that's a totally different mental game than
Yeah.
like 2, which was what we've usually had. So yeah, interesting. Just a thought I had like kind of had in my mind. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
get
good point.
why that's different.
And there was what we thought was going to be. There's a rule written this year about not being allowed to bring your own chalk or use chalk that is not provided by HYROX at stations that are not the sled pull and farmers.
Mhm.
And Joanna had chalk. Like, and I don't know. I haven't heard anything from her. I don't know what she said. I don't know what. I'm guessing she just didn't know the rule. I don't think she was trying to cheat or anything or get like an advantage. I'm guessing she just like didn't read the rule book, and like that's fine. Like no one really reads the rule book. You read it once and you're like, all right, got it. And it's just a new rule, so something had changed. But there was not a penalty assessed. To her. They didn't seem to catch it in the moment, and maybe that's something that they are going to like draw a line on. It's like, hey, like if you don't get caught in like the moment of the race, then we can't retroactively give penalties.
Was it on your little athlete table? Did she have it on her athlete table and then pick it up when she was heading out on the run going into sled pull?
Still not allowed.
It wasn't.
That's
it was
not
in
allowed
her,
either, huh?
Still not allowed.
It is said that she pulled it out of her shorts and that like you could see
it
there
like
was chalk on her pants.
You could see it on the live stream for sure.
And there's some videos now circulating of it all in like slow-mo and everything.
Like it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
But could you visually or visibly see where she pulled it from?
It was from like her waistband.
Okay.
Yeah.
On her pants. Yeah.
The clip I saw, because I didn't watch the entire women's race, but I saw a clip of this moment and it looked like it just appeared out of thin air.
Summoned it.
It's like, where did this chalk come from? But I didn't see the moments like just before that.
And she pulled it out and put it back, and I didn't see. And I guess she pulled it out again at Farmers and used it twice. So really, and I think they said 2-minute penalty for that. It's a 1 to 2 minute penalty. It's a big penalty, right? Changes the outcome of the race. And I don't think they've released an official statement, HYROX, but a statement that was kind of like trickled down was that there wasn't enough evidence to assess a penalty. And to me, it's like, okay, like, what do you need then? Like, if I get hit with a penalty retroactively down the road, I'm gonna be like, based off of what? Like, what is more clear than what had just happened? Like, how can this? So
if it wasn't clear, then how did the commentators of the feed speak about it?
It couldn't
at
be
the time.
It couldn't be more clear.
That's exactly what I'm confused about. Till literally says
Joanna Wedrick pulling chalk out of her waistband, applying the chalk, and putting
he's
it back.
stating it. And
Literally
also,
saying
just so everybody is aware, because they've been in the live streams, you're hooked up in headphones and you're speaking and they can hear everything you're saying and they're feeding you things. So that also would have been a very clear time for the team to then make a tape review. So this is not enough evidence. That's a real hard sell. That's a real hard sell.
That's what I mean. Like, then I feel like they do not have the ability to retroactively assess penalties for the rest of the year, regardless of what happens. Because
it makes you feel a little, when you think about the other past scenarios, it makes you feel very questionable how these things have happened.
Because, like, is it more evidence for, we'll use Sean Noble, right? For an example.
Exactly.
His no rep wall ball. Like, I feel like that target saying 99 on the wall balls is as much evidence as this rep as Joanna pulling the chalk out and using it. Like, it's like the exact same thing to me. Like,
and like both. When Viola like lost second and she did the rep and like there was no like clarification that she of what actually she did wrong.
It was
They
the
couldn't even
skier
tell
that?
her.
Is that what it was?
No, the skier was a separate thing. They pulled her back on her after her last rep of wall balls. Also, ripped
They're
her
just
off the
wrong?
stage.
They don't know. Well, that's the thing that they don't want now.
That's
They
the
they
point
won't do
is
that
like
anymore.
this is like but they, even though they pulled her back, like they couldn't tell her what she did wrong to get pulled back for. That's, I think, like this is where it's like the lines are fuzzy, you know? So
I think they screwed up pretty bad on this one. And it's like,
yeah.
it's one thing, right? Like you don't want to like take anything away from an athlete. Like if it's a stupid rule, it's a stupid rule. I think it's just because they don't want people with chalk across the, like they don't want 15,000 people bringing their own chalk and making a mess, honestly, is why it's a rule, right? It's like not really an advantage. Like whatever, you have to apply it. It's not that big of a deal. I think it's just honestly a mess that they don't want to have. And maybe it's like, and like, there's no way that they can police like, hey, the Elite 15 can use it, but everybody else can't. Because like people aren't going to read the rule book, they're going to see Joanna or whoever using chalk, they're going to bring it, and it's going to be a disaster. So like they made the rule, so like they need to do something. And like Joanna's going to qualify. If she didn't qualify here, she's going to qualify in Melbourne, right? Like it's not like if it was this unbelievable effort and she like if it was Seka, for example, like Seka will probably also qualify, but like finishing in fourth, amazing race. Like if it was third and she qualified and they took it away from her, like that would have been very unfortunate, but Joanna's going to qualify. Right. So it just like, it isn't fair to every other athlete who ran in that race. It isn't fair to Vivian, who loses out of like 5 stacks for that, because like she did all the rules. That isn't fair for Seka because now she didn't qualify. Like I don't see why they wouldn't just implement this. It would just be it's a more of a mess now, like you said, Meg. It's like, how are they going to rectify this? How can they serve penalties to people for the rest of the season if they're not going to do it for here? I just don't understand.
I'm just going to have my management submit a review counteractive, whatever they call that, and then have them make a statement saying, based on our findings with her management team, we cannot find enough evidence. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's also what your manager is for. That's why you have a manager.
Yeah. Like why is anyone else in the conversation? Like if that was
gotta just be, it really should just be like an internal situation. I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate situation. And like we said, it's nothing negative to her as a person or an athlete. She's incredible.
It doesn't matter.
It's a HYROX problem. It's not about her. This is not about like us hating on this person or this athlete. It's that there's now a weird precedent set, and now it's creating more confusion going forward on like how do we even fight these things? What do we do? Is there reviews? Is there not?
Who's open to
who is putting them? Like
who gets to
I
say?
I think that's the problem with it, not like whatever. I will say though that as an athlete, if I'm paying someone to manage me and they're not also following up on all these things, like rules wise, I don't know.
Read the rule book, folks. Kent, what you got?
Everyone read the rule book.
I just want to say, no, go ahead, Meg. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
No spitting or snotting.
Rich, were you in the room at World Championships, the Elite 15 meeting, when I brought up the chalk buckets for each lane? I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and take the credit.
Taking credit for that one.
Yep.
There were buckets in each lane.
Nice.
At Farmers, though, we need to get something going on. They had the stupid rosin bags for that still.
Yeah, like, that's no dice.
Yeah.
What the heck? But
yeah, because when I chalk, I just dip my hands and walk away. Like I'm not picking something up and
that can
I
get
literally
lost.
stick my hands in powder and walk away. Like and I'm running to the
picked up each one of the rosin bags out of the bucket and just carried them off.
Well, I had an athlete ahead of me pick up the whole bucket, run with it, and then throw it. So
that's a G move.
That was like, 10 times worse than any of these situations. I didn't know at the time. I was too new to understand I could even appeal anything. I didn't even know. It's just like, that was so shitty. And then that was like, oh, well, like that was it.
Shouts
So
to Michaela for playing chess out there. She's like, watch this.
she was
No
playing
talk to
chess
you.
and we were playing checkers and we
Yeah,
didn't even
right.
fight it. We
You're
didn't
like,
even
I guess
fight
that's
it.
just how it works.
We were like, can we just make sure this never happens again, please? And that was it.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Squad, it's so fun to be back. We have, what do we got going on next? Anything really? Kent, where are you going to be? You probably
I got
racing
Atlanta.
Atlanta, hometown-ish.
That's in, yeah.
It's Halloween.
2-hour drive. That's
dress up?
in 3 weeks.
What are you going to be?
Well, dude, I was going to do doubles on Friday with Mr. Colin Stiefer,
Let's go.
but it's Halloween. And I
Mm.
can't miss Halloween.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to do like a Mario Luigi type of thing or something.
He's got
We could have
kids.
swung that.
That's easy. That's light work.
Just drop a sub 50 in a Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Just
You
outfit.
got to wear like the big gloves too. Big white gloves. See how that goes?
The fastest HYROX doubles ever ran in a Mario and Luigi costume.
With big
Hey,
white.
that's a world record, you know.
Count it. Put it in the
That's right.
profile.
Put it in there.
Probably got records for that. Atlanta, cool. Are you going to do, you're not sure, Chicago, Dallas?
No, I'm in Chicago. Colin and I are doing doubles.
Cool. Good. Okay, great. That's awesome. Good pairing. I like it.
Yeah.
And then Dallas, no? Maybe?
I'll be in Dallas too.
Sweet.
And then
Out here,
Anaheim.
baby. And Anaheim, all of it.
Yeah.
Hitting them all.
I will be nowhere. I will be building a nursery and just like bargaining with myself that it's going to be okay, that we're going to stay fit. That's where I'll be.
It's gonna be fine.
In the meantime, the parenting, I'm not that worried about. The training.
Well, you don't
about
have to
parenting,
parent really for a couple years.
That's
You're
the
not
thing. I'm
really
just
doing
not gonna-
a lot of parenting
That's a good point. I'm just not going to do anything.
for the first few months.
I'm just
They're
going to.
just pooping, crying, and eating. That's about it.
I'm just going to get an Airbnb
sleeping.
close by and just like
Yeah.
hang
Check
out over
in.
there.
Amy, I'm gonna go have a
Yeah.
great night's sleep. I hope the baby sleeps so you do too. Gotta
Back
go.
Around, I'm back around 9 a.m. to train at the garage back here, but I'll be over there if you need me. But only for emergencies. So that's where I'll be. Meg, you're going to be.
I'm doing Stuttgart,
Ooh. What
Women's
is that?
Pro. It's also Halloween, and
What did you dress up as?
I don't know. I am teaming up with Linda Meyer for the Women's Pro doubles on Sunday. So that's the new team up. Was honored to be asked.
You've teamed up before though.
We have.
right?
We've raced
Yeah.
together
Gee,
before.
You were the record holders for a while.
Yeah. So that'll be it's a great match.
Good team.
It's a good team, good squad. So
Good
kind
vibes.
of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Linda. So
Yeah,
I'm
she's
really,
great.
really happy about that. So that'll be good.
All right, cool. Thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.